Find out what they can't do. You know, if they, like a couple of years ago, we had to drive up ramps. Can they drive up a ramp? Well, yeah, we tried, you know, I think we could. No, can you drive up a ramp? And you don't want to be nasty, but you need to know. We don't really put much credence in what they tell us. We scout every match. We have kids in the stands that are watching every single match, and they're filling out a form, and we're compiling the information. So generally, many times, we'll come on the field and I'll have better information than their team does about how they did. Because we scout our own team. Like I remember one year where one of my students was in the stands scouting, and it took him half the match, and they realized, wait a minute, I'm scouting our own team. It's like, dang, it wasn't, you know, the sharpest knife in the black. But it was pretty honest, and he was intently doing what he was supposed to do, which was excellent. So you have these scouts. You can also, if you want, I make this offer to everybody, come and use our scouting data. But if you don't do it, and you end up one of the top 8, or even if you don't, come and get it from us. We'll show it, we'll share it with you. We share everything. Last year we set up a table with all our scouting data. We had 4 teams come and talk to us. You know, we had data on how well people score, how well they hurdle, how well, you know, an amazing amount of data. We have an incredible systems integration mentor and a great scout. So anyway, you take notes, get to know that alliance. Now you also need to know the other alliance. Who are you playing against? What can they do? Do they tend to be defensive? Are they aggressive? Are they not aggressive? Do they have any little Achilles heel? So you can go talk to them too and say, hey, I'm playing against you. What do you guys do? If you came to us and asked us that, we'd be happy to tell you. One thing that a lot of people do, and they do what's called pit scouting. I don't have that on here, but we'll get to this in a second. Pit scouting means you go and you have this form. And generally what it means is, you know, you are the 32nd member of my team. We don't do that. You're more than likely, you might be a girl, because they know that they'll talk to girls. But whatever. And you come out and you say, okay, team 100 here, what's the speed of your robot? And you'll say, okay, 10 meters per second. And they'll write it down. And then they'll write down, well, what kind of a drivetrain do you have? Okay, you have this drivetrain. We don't do that. To me, that's worthless information. What's important for me is, what do you do on the field? I don't care what your drivetrain looks like or how fast you say you can go, because, you know, my car out here can go 150 miles an hour. Now, it'll take me 40 minutes to get to 150 miles an hour, and I probably have to go down a hill, but I can do 150 miles an hour. So knowing the speed of the robot isn't very important. Knowing how fast it accelerates, that's important. But it's more important, can he drive the robot and control it at 150 miles an hour? Because I don't want somebody driving their robot and smashing into me. So to me, performance is what's important, not what does the robot look like, it's what can it do. And what does it do on the field? What has it done on the field?
And just an example of that, like for our team, it's especially important that, like, not give much credence to what teams say they can do in their autonomous period or what the robots they say the robots are capable of doing, but look at what they've repeatedly been able to do. Because oftentimes, like, robots in a bad starting autonomous position might collide with other robots, and the autonomous will completely fail, even though it's designed to do something really powerful. So I wouldn't even particularly ask what can your robot do, just see what has your robot done in the past.
If you see teams that have been around for a long time, feel free to ask them what it can do, because like our team, my students know better than to say what did it do, because I drill this into them. If you ask us what we can do, we'll tell you what we can do. And we'll tell you, hey, the last match, our right drivetrain wasn't even working. And we think we have it fixed, but we're not sure. We'll tell you that. And there are a lot of teams that will do that, but there are a lot of teams that don't. You know, you don't like to tell people when you're not doing work. It's a natural thing. But you're exactly right. If you already know, if you have the data, use it. What you saw is a lot more important than what you hear. And the other, what I was trying to emphasize is that you don't just ask them, well, gee, how much does your robot weigh? Or, I mean, just to gather data for no reason is not a very, very good use of time. Okay? Now, if you have somebody that doesn't have anything to do, feel free. You know? If you want to keep somebody busy for, you know, like in this one, you want to keep somebody busy for 2 days, have them do pit scouting, because they have to go to every 60 pits and gather 15 pieces of information. And then you come back and you have a 3-hole punch and you put it in this folder, and we put the folder in the bottom of a crate, and we never look at it, because that's what happens. But if you have somebody that needs it, like if they're kind of goofing off, probably a good assignment. So you want to discuss possibilities with your team after you get your information. First with your team. Then you want to propose a strategy before you meet with them. You want to be reasonable about what you can do. You want to evaluate your partners. Are they better than you? Certainly they will be. Plenty of people better than our team many times. And you want to be honest with yourself. Again, the key here is being honest. Because you're only yourself if you're not. You want to propose your strategy to them. So be proactive. You want to take control of the match. Unless you're playing with us. But you want to do that. You want to be proactive, because when a team comes to me and says, I think I know how we can win this match, I'll listen to them, and maybe they got a great idea, much better than I do. But if they just sit there and say, well, what do you want to do? Well, I don't know. What do you want to do? Know what you want to do. Design the robot to do something, and then go in and try to make it do that. So, but you listen to the other teams, learn, be firm, be honest. Determine exactly what you're supposed to do. So if we decided that your team is going to play defense, go out and play defense. Even though your teammate who said they were going to do something isn't doing what they said they were going to do, you were asked to play defense, go out and play defense. Now, during the course of the match, be ready to adapt. If I see a team 5,000, they say, well, we're going to score the ball, and we want you to play defense on these guys, and we say, yes, we're going to do that. They go out, and their robot isn't moving, and they're not scoring. What I do as a coach is I go over to their team, and I'm going, do you mind if we play? Do you mind if we try to score? And of course, they'll be really stupid. They'll say no. But I give them the opportunity to say, we know what we're supposed to do, but we think we should change. And they go, okay, yeah, go do that, because we're not doing it. That's the way to do it. Don't just start taking over. When you say you're going to do something, do it. Because later on, when they pick, they're going to remember that. They're going to remember that you said you'd play defense, but you didn't. You decided to go do what you wanted to do. Well, you're not going to make a very good partner for me if I'm the #1 alliance. I'm not going to pick you. Because I can't count on you to do what you said you were going to do. So again, communicate during the match, have an active coach. You can have coaches that are either adults or student. My preference is to have an adult as a coach. I think it works a little better in terms of the stuff, but you can do whatever you want. Of course, I am the coach on the field. Nothing really helps more than having time on the field. And I've been in I've been on the field in maybe 200 matches. So it's the more time you're on the field, the more ease you feel with that 2 minutes and get a feel for the game. One other thing is I didn't mention this before, when you pick your drivers, don't switch drivers around. Pick a driver and stick with them. Because the only way they're going to get better is by continuing to drive. The worst thing you can do is have 5 kids that want to drive, and you say, okay, match #1, who's driving? Well, then you have the 6th time, your 6th match, he's driven his 2nd match. Pick one. It's hard to do, but you want to do it. We pick a driver at the beginning of the season, they drive for the whole year. Every single match. That way they have the most experience. When we go to the championship, the most experience they can have. And I have a driver now that's driven for 3 years. And he's pretty good. So he can do better this year. Be gracious when you're during the match. If they're not performing, don't go over and yell at them. They know their robot's not running. They know it's got a broken arm. Go over and say, can we do something? If there's an opportunity for them, say they got tipped over, and there's an opportunity for you to tip them back, do it. That's a big deal. That's really cool. Even to the point of losing a match because you did it. Still really a good thing to do. I can tell you, I remember in Stack Attack, our team, there was a team that didn't do anything the entire tournament.